After 57 years on Earth, 40 of them putting a good amount of study into human behavior, I now conclude that I am wiser than most 16-year-olds. And if you are parents, you almost certainly are too. And so it is with huge hope that you don't let 16-year-olds' impulses direct their lives, and somewhat yours. Parents, they're hearing things from screwy places. And I'll be specific on my background in education, that they're hearing about a lack of standards. And they're right to a small extent. Our standards for education, our standards even for corporate hiring have changed, but I think it's temporary. And those who flaunt the standards are ones who I think are going to suffer in the end. How does this affect college admissions? Well, it's hard to know because college admissions is still a black box. Who gets admitted and why? If they have standards at all, they don't release them. What we can tell is over the last couple years, there's been pressure to have standard-less admissions, that what you feel and how we in the admissions office feel about you end up dictating our decision, yes or no. A few colleges will be able to get away with that for a whole decade or more. Most won't. The colleges that want to have meritorious kids and keep bringing in donations and the support of trustees and oodles and oodles of applicants are going to be the ones that revert to standards. They will embrace once again the SAT or maybe a different test of standards. I've never said that the SAT is a great standard. It's the only game in town, except now for some colleges that are saying, gee, you don't even need that. Do you trust the guidance counselor in your school influencing your 16-year-old to say you don't need a standard? For a few years, there could be a whole cohort of kids that get educated in a less standard time, aren't as strong, and maybe get away with it because nobody else of their same age will be. But guess what? 5 years later, the next cohort who get their act together are going to trounce them in terms of capabilities, hirings, wealth. Even don't wait 5 years. Every Asian, every assiduous African, every South American who doesn't have this lunacy that the United States is going through now, they're right now trouncing us, and that will continue. So if your kid comes back saying, Mom, Dad, I'm told I don't need to take the SAT, please ask them, what are the consequences for deeper into college and deep into life of not attending a competitive university? And fortunately, there are some that do want to see SAT scores now and are assessing still with merit in mind. Merit best measured by a national standard. Grades don't do that. Okay, written recommendations can't do that. The SAT and the ACT, which I happen to think is a slightly better standard, have done it well. They're still around, and they are worth spending a little effort. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm asking for less time than you put into your JV sport, and for less than a full semester even. I'm asking if it's summer for less time than a part-time summer job, and for only half the summer. Okay, take the rest of the summer and play golf or go to the beach. Do something. And by the way, you can do both because study is never meant to monopolize more than half your day. So the seriousness that students have traditionally taken and are continuing to take when they're internationals and want to come to U.S. universities, I'm asking students to adopt half that level, and they'll do fine. Not adopting it, listening to what has been a lot of goofiness in our society and playing to that lower level is not a way to elevate yourself personally and not a way to elevate yourself in society where merit will always matter.